Now, trust me, I already know that there are some of you that are already triggered simply by the title of this video. And believe me, I understand, but I am going to ask one thing of you, and that is listen to everything that I have to say with an open mind and try to be as rational about it as possible, because I do think that I make a couple pretty good points in this video. And at the end of the day, if we still disagree on this subject, then that is perfectly fine. We can disagree. Just please be respectful with everybody in the comments. That's all I ask, because I know anytime we're talking about rats inside of Arc Raiders, you know, you got the PvE side, you got the PvP side, and you know, they don't like each other very much. But I think that we can live in harmony, and we're going to talk about why. So what really triggered me to make this video is I recently posted a pretty popular short of a guy that had ratted me and took my legendary Dulabra shotgun from me. Now, this is a guy that was pretending to be friendly. We were running around the map together for probably about 5 minutes of actual in-game playtime. I gave him a Sentinel firing core. I was helping him to find rusted gears, and ultimately he shot me in the head and took my Dulabra from me when he saw me use it. And yes, he got ratted, and that sucks. But the comments for that video were, you know, mostly on my side, which is fantastic, right? Because that's the style of community that we have here on Arc Raiders, and I absolutely love it. However, there is a lot of, oh man, I'm sorry, that sucks, that should never happen, blah, 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 and these types of comments. And I'm sitting there thinking this whole time, one, I wasn't really all that upset about losing my Dulabra there. Maybe a little bit, because I don't think I had another one in my inventory at that particular time. I think at this point in time, I got 5 or 6 just kind of sitting there waiting to be used. But at that point, it was still pretty new, and I was a little bit upset to lose it, and I had to go make another one. But I'm going to go ahead and play you that short real quick, just in case you haven't seen it, because it is kind of the basis of everything that I'm going to be talking about here in this video. This guy just might be the biggest piece of shit in the entire Rust Belt.
You got an extra stem for me, bro?
I can spare a couple stems. There you are, sir.
Perfect, thank you.
Guy's gonna shoot me, ain't he?
I'm looking for Sentinel firing cores.
Oh, here.
Oh. I'm looking for rusted gears. Hold on.
I ain't got rusted gears, but I can show you where to find them. Follow me. All right, so right over yonder here, there are some buses right over by this exfil. Right to the left of this building over here, you'll see 2 buses. Go loot the sides of them and the back of them, and I'm pretty much guaranteed you'll find at least 1 rusted gear in there. There's containers on the sides. Yeah, they're a bitch.
I think I need a Hornet drivers as well. Can you fucking kill one of those things?
Yeah, I can kill one of those things.
Gonna be shit. Thank you, your goat.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that. Fuck you. Yeah, you deserve to die a death. So now that you've seen it for yourself, I think the first thing we need to do is define exactly what a rat is. Because I feel like anybody who engages in PvP in this game, they'll just call you rats, right? Like if you kill somebody, you know, they're going to call you a rat, and that's just kind of the way everything's been working inside of Arc Raiders. It's very much an overused term, but I definitely don't think it should be used to describe everybody. Now, of course, if you're pretending to be somebody's friend and you're looting by him and you guys are hanging out and there's no conflict, whether or not you're talking on the microphone or not, or said that you're friendly or not, you know, you're a rat if you kill that person. If you're spamming don't shoot and then pull your gun out and shoot the person, you're a fucking rat. It just is what it is. If you're hiding in a dark corner at an exfil waiting for somebody to come along, you are a rat. And probably if you're running a free kit more often than not, you're probably a rat. My point being is just simply engaging in PvP alone does not make you a rat. If I were to just pop up around a corner and immediately shoot you without talking to you, without, you know, looting beside you, without doing any of these things, the moment I saw you and I shot you in the face, that is not ratty behavior. That is just PvP. So I do think we need to get away from calling everybody who engages in PvP rats, because it just simply isn't the true at the end of the day. And this is a PvP and a PvE game combined into one. And I know that the PvE community is much larger than the PvP community, at least amongst the viewers of my channel. But I do think there is a way that everybody can live in harmony with one another. And at least for me, I feel like I've kind of found that secret sauce to that. So after I got about 100 hours into playing Arc Raiders or so, I was the friendliest player ever. I didn't kill anybody. I don't think I had any kills under my belt whatsoever. I was friendly and just hanging out, killing some large Arc and getting to know the game. But even at the end of my first 100 hours, and I do want to point out that I'm up over 800 at this point, so apparently I've done something right to keep myself interested in this game. Even at the 100-hour mark, just playing nothing but PvE, things started to feel a little bit stale. The Arc got easier to kill, everything seemed easy. It actually got harder to find loot, because when everybody's friendly, everybody's looting all of the best spots right off the rip, and everybody's looting every big Arc that you kill, and you know, all of those things, and it actually, you know, makes it a little bit harder to get loot in some of those lobbies. So that was also a little bit frustrating as well, which actually reminds me, as I was talking about that, cockroaches. If you're a cockroach, you is just as bad as a rat. The cockroaches are the people that if I kill a bastion and you just come out of the woodwork and start looting my bastion, you're a fucking cockroach. And honestly, in my opinion, you're worse than a fucking rat. Do it your goddamn self and leave my fucking loot alone. You know who you are. Leave my goddamn loot alone. So once things started to feel a little bit stale for me, I started to engage a little bit in PvP here and there. And that's when I slid into the full-on PvP lobbies. And let me tell you, I also hated that. I actually hated it with a passion. I hated it way more than I hated the Ultra Care Bear lobbies where there was no loot to be found because everybody stayed the whole 30 minutes and everybody took absolutely everything from you. It was just a miserable experience of playing nothing but a bunch of free kits and being spammed with trigger nades over and over and over and over again. But that's when I learned to take advantage of one of the best systems that I have played in a game like this at all, like in a shooter game at all, is the aggression-based matchmaking system. By taking advantage of this, you have the Care Bear lobbies on the extreme left, you have the full-blown PvP lobbies on the extreme right, and in a very tiny little sliver of a slice in the middle lies what I think is the most beautiful aspect of Arc Raiders, and that is just that, like, I don't know what to call it, but it's that in-between zone where you're not getting all Care Bear and you're not getting all PvP, where about 70 to 80% of every player in your lobby is a friendly player, and 20 to 30% of them are there for blood, and you never know which one that you're going to come across, and that keeps that tension high. In every single moment of the game, it keeps that tension high. And that's where I like to keep myself. So a kill every 2 to 3 games, or you know, a kill every other game, something like that, or doing some damage to a raider is going to keep you in that mix. But be fair warned, it is a very slippery slope from that middle ground to the full-blown PvP, so it is very hard to keep yourself in that center slice. But other people can take advantage of this to do completely other things as well. If I can take advantage of it to keep myself in that middle ground where I think the game truly thrives, well, those full-on PvP players can take advantage of that system to put themselves in the Care Bear lobbies where they're coming to rat you for your goop. And this is where I'm saying this is actually healthy for the game. I don't think that this is something that needs fixed. I think that this is very healthy for the game, because one thing happens when I am in that sort of position, when I'm in those Ultra Care Bear lobbies. Every single time I come out of raid, I am just playing an inventory management simulator where I'm trying to figure out what to keep, what to sell, what to recycle down, what to do with all the damn loot that I have. But if I die every once in a while, and yeah, you may die to Arc every once in a while, but we're just going to talk about the PvP aspect of this. When I die every once in a while, okay, well, I just lost some loot and I cleared up some inventory space. So it's going to give me that opportunity to go back out and refill that stash. It's going to give me something to do. It's going to give me purpose in the game. I now have a purpose. I now have some inventory slots available. I have more of a reason to go back into that next raid and try to bounce back, get my legendary weapon back. If I got to go fight the queen again to get some cores, well, now I have a reason to go fight the queen or the matriarch again to get the cores so I can make the gun back that I just lost to a rat. And while you may be frustrated in that exact moment, what I encourage all of you to do is to just really step back and analyze the situation as a whole. Were you really that upset that you died to that rat and they took your loot? I mean, maybe for a split second, but you're getting right back into the game and you're going to go right back in and you're going to get your loot and you're going to get it back because you're still going to be in those mostly friendly lobbies where, you know, maybe one rat, maybe two rats slip in and eventually all the Care Bears will kill off that rat. We know that that's going to happen. You just happen to get unlucky and be the victim in that moment. But without death in Arc Raiders, if you don't die, which, you know, a lot of us can stay alive 97 out of 100 raids if all we're doing is fighting Arc, unless you get into some really extreme situations. And believe me, I get into some really extreme situations. But unless you're getting into those, you're probably going to extract and you're probably going to live. And without death, this game will get so stale and so boring so quickly. And I don't think that a lot of people actually realize at the end of the day, when they are ratted and they lose all of that gear, that it's actually giving them more motivation to play. Now, I'm not just going to blanket this over everybody and say that this covers, you know, every single player out there, because it doesn't. Everybody's different and everybody's feelings are different about how, you know, how things should be. But I would say for a vast majority of you, without even realizing it, you have more of a reason to play, and probably because you never really thought about it from that side of the coin. And that's what I'm really truly encouraging you to do today, is think about it from that perspective, that it's giving you a little bit more to do inside of the game and a reason to keep coming back to Arc Raiders. And it's keeping that tension alive for you. And that tension is what makes Arc Raiders special. Without that tension of not knowing if that raider is going to kill you or not kill you, then the game becomes very stale. And what I tell a lot of people, as I came from Call of Duty Zombies before I started covering Arc Raiders, before I really started to get into this game, and some of my most loyal viewers are not too thrilled with Arc Raiders. They haven't actually tried the game, but they watch the game and they kind of, you know, don't really like what they see, and that's perfectly fine. But one thing that I try to explain to them all the time to make sure that they understand is I cannot make you feel the tension in a game when you are watching a live stream, right? Like, you're not going to feel that tension when you're watching my live stream, but it's that tension that I feel in game when I have $190,000 worth of goop on my body and I just pray to the Arc Raider gods that I am able to get through this exfil without that rat coming to shoot me in the back. That is the tension that keeps this game alive. And the death and the dying and the losing the loot is what keeps bringing you back and giving you more reason to play. As long as you occasionally lose some loot, you're going to have more things to do inside of the game. Now, while rats have probably become a little bit more common, and especially now as we're only a couple weeks away from another expedition, it seems as the closer we get to the expedition windows, the more rats that we see inside a game. But the longer the game's out, the more rats you are going to see as people start to understand the game and understand how to work the mechanics. But I'll tell you what, those guys are literally going to lose that loot to somebody else. Like, it's going to go to somebody else that was able to actually fight them off. And what I encourage you all to do the most is just make sure you brush up on your gun skills a little bit. You know, work with an aim trainer or something if you have to. Work with that. Make sure you got a little bit of gun skill. Always make sure you have at least one weapon that can kill a raider. Don't come in with nothing but a hull cracker, because, you know, then you are defenseless against that rat if that rat does show up. And just never let your guard down, but let yourself continue to feel that tension in every raid that you play. And if you're like me and decide to keep yourself in those in-between lobbies, man, that tension can get actually insane at times. And I have so much fun doing it. But like I said at the start of the video, please be gentle down in the comments. We are all going to have our own opinion at the end of the day. But I do think Arc Raider rats do bring some benefit to the table, as annoying as they may be. But I'm curious to know what you think. Thank you all so very much for watching. My name is Cool Whip, and I'm out.